Alright, so this is the final for our gunsmithing tools lab, and this is going to be a detailed disassembly of the Sig P226 Nitron. First thing we're going to do is go ahead and I'm going to show you the tools that I have. Look here, I got my armor's block. I got some roll pins that I'm going to use. This is my grip removal tool. I got my hammer. This is actually a wrench, but it's got lots of functions to it, and we're going to be utilizing it as a hammer. I got a small flathead screwdriver, some needle nose pliers, and some zip ties for grip removal just in case we need them. So after that, next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and clear this weapon. First thing is remove the magazine feed source, which right there's no bullets in the magazine. Then I'm going to take it over to my clearing barrel. I'm going to open slide, lock the slide catch. I'm going to visually and physically inspect. We're clear. There is no, it's a clear and safe weapon. I'm going to come back over here. The weapon is now safe to work on. So what we're going to go ahead and do is from here, I'm going to go ahead and field strip this weapon, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and pull down the slide lock. Pull down my detach lever first. Flip that all the way up. Then I'm going to let the slide go. Have that slide all the way forward. Then I'm going to go ahead and remove the guide rod and the recoil spring from the upper receiver. Have those removed right there. And then I'm going to go ahead and remove my barrel. And that right there is complete field stripping of this. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go ahead and work on my upper receiver, because the lower receiver has lots of parts in there that are held under tension, and this is going to need some hammering to pry out. So I'm going to leave these all connected while I go ahead and hammer. So I'm going to put that to the side, and now I have my upper receiver. Now for the SIG, if you look, there's a little pin right there, and there's a ledge that's blocking it from coming in through the bottom. So we're gonna have to hammer it from the bottom out the top. And that's gonna help us remove our extractor. I'm gonna grab my block. I recommend using the smallest pin that I have right now, which is a 1/16. Give that a couple hits. Got it going already. Okay, we're getting through. Having a little technical malfunctions with my roll pin is bent. Okay, we're gonna keep going. Well, that's a malfunction right there. So we're gonna go ahead and use, stand by, let's get some needle nose and we're gonna try to make this work. So I don't have another one. Okay. Put this aside for a second. There we go. A little bit more stable. Okay, now we're getting through. All right. Got that pin out, which is couch right there. Okay. Extractor just fell out. Something you got to be careful with is this does have a double spring. Right there, a spring inside of a spring. So we're gonna put our extractor off to the side. I put all my upper receiver parts in this little thing right here. Next thing I need to go ahead and do is remove the firing pin and the firing pin block. So once you remove this though, this gives you access to this pin right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and adjust this a little bit. have to get a new one of these, but for right now, it's gonna have to work. Starting to get through, so I'm gonna put it on the block so that it'll fall right out. Okay, we are through. Put the pin over here. I'm gonna push this down to go ahead and, whoop, there it goes, shot out. Be careful of that, okay? So this is the firing pin. I'm gonna go ahead and place this off to the side, and then I'm gonna go ahead and remove the firing pin block, as well as the spring that's inside there, okay? Put those off to the side. And that right there is the full strip, detailed strip of the upper receiver. I'm gonna put that off to the side now. And then we're gonna go ahead and go to the lower receiver. So first thing I wanna do is remove my grips, which for this, SIG says that you need a special tool, so that's what I went ahead and ordered. We're gonna use this grip removal tool. You stick it inside like this, and you turn it to slide the grips off. It'll take a little work. There we go. And slide the grips off right here. Okay, and that exposes a lot of the parts right here. Next thing we're gonna do is remove the takedown lever, which right here. And to do that, we're just gonna push on the side right here and just kind of wiggle that out. Just kind of rotate it and it'll come completely out, just like that. Next thing we wanna do is remove the firing block, which is right here. And that just kind of, the hammer does have to be forward for that. So let's put that forward. And then it just kind of slides right out. And this is the hammer and block spring. Okay. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and remove the trigger pivot pin, which is this pin right here. And it kind of looks like it has a little flat head, and I'll show you what that is later. So we're gonna go ahead and just, I'm using a screwdriver because it's got a nice little slot for that, and just push that to get it started right out. And we're gonna go ahead and put this down to the side. Next part is removing the slide catch and release lever, which is right here. So we went ahead and removed that. Next thing we want to do is this part can get a little tricky. I'll show you. We're going to go ahead and remove the trigger lever, trigger bar spring, which is this spring right here, and you can remove it with your hands. You just kind of tuck it right under there. Place that off to the side. And then go ahead and we're gonna remove the trigger bar. And this is something that will either come right out or it's gonna take some work. So you gotta play with it a little bit because it does have kind of a weird angle that does catch on things. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to get that out real quick. Kind of gotta push up. Came out just super easy last time I did it, and of course now that I need it to slide right out. There we go. Got the trigger bar out and the trigger. Next thing we need to do is go ahead and remove the hammer strut, the main spring, and then the main spring seat. So this is under tension, so in order to do that, we're gonna go ahead and take a little screwdriver, push this up. Make sure you hold on to it because this could kind of rotate it out a little bit. Okay, there we go. Pulled the seat out, spring, and then the strut is out, okay? Next thing we wanna do is go ahead and remove our decocking lever. So what we're gonna do is go ahead and pull this spring go ahead and use some needle nose to remove it. It's removed. Pulling out the spring. Make sure you take note of the angle that it was in. And this is a little bearing that holds it in place. I'm gonna hold that right there. And we're gonna remove the takedown lever right there. All right, the next part of disassembly is we're gonna be removing the safety, the sear spring, and the extractor, and the hammer as well. This is a little bit, it's easy to remove, but putting it back together is gonna be a little tricky. However, I have learned some tricks in order to help you with that, which I will show you later. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and take this pin right here. We're gonna push it straight through. It goes pretty easy. After you push this pin through, pretty much all the parts are gonna kind of start like falling through. See, there they go. Boom. We have our sear, our safety lever, and for this, on different SIGs, they look a little bit different, the safety lever. So how I remember it is that this kind of looks like an elephant to me, and the elephant always wants his nose up. That's kind of how I remember it. Silly way, but it works for me. Next, I have the extractor right there. And then in order to get the hammer out, there's another pin right here that you're just gonna kind of push right through. Right there. And then that will allow you to pull out the hammer. And that right there completes the detailed disassembly of the SIG P226 Nitron. We got our frame right here, our slide, our barrel, grips, and we have our upper assembly parts separated from the lower assembly up here on the side. And that's it for the detailed disassembly right there.